Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Burnt. Okay, a podcast dedicated to one of the best TV shows ever, Worst Cooks in America. I'm Jefferson Goldie, your host of season 18, and today I have finally a very special guest from my season.
Yes,
everybody,
the best season.
Welcome, Leslie. How you doing, buddy?
Thank you. So good. So good. Are you kidding? Great. This is fun.
I see you got done up for the audio version.
Always.
Of course. We have
of course.
To talk about
for literally any reason at all. I don't even care what it's for. But if I don't look like me, I can't even talk like me.
I love it.
It all goes hand in hand.
we're definitely going to talk about your style on the show, and I remember you ordering some specific items for the show.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into.
Yep.
But everything good for you?
Did.
How's life treating you? The pandemic?
Life is good. I loved every minute of the pandemic. I loved being home. I cooked that's all I did. I worked out, cooked. I couldn't keep up. I made so many cakes.
Really?
Like it was really, really weird. Like it was a little obsessive.
So you like baking then? Is that you're better baking than cooking?
No, I'm better at cooking, but I baked everything and it all tastes exactly the same. But I was really into it. Like every day I wake up and the first thing I do is I get on the Food Network app thing. I actually pay for that app. That's obsessed. And I love it. And every day I'm like, here's what we're going to eat for the next 12 hours straight.
Look at that. So like being on the show has actually made you like want to cook and stuff.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I know. Shocking. Like to me, everyone's like always asks like, were you that bad? I'm like, who pretends to be this bad at cooking? So, like, it's not something you can make up. It just is. It's just it's who you are.
That's the number one question I get all the time when people ask me, hey, is that real? Are you guys really that bad?
Yes.
I'm like, yes, we are all legit terrible cooks on that show. 100%.
Absolutely. These people, you can't pretend to set fires no, we are horrible.
Exactly.
We were all horrible. Except for Kelly. I still don't know about Kelly.
Yeah, you know what?
Did you see how many shumai she made in like one day? Come on.
Dude, I'm
on number 2. She has a tray.
Yeah, she was a like I don't know. She was a robot. I don't know how she didn't
total
win.
Robot. I know.
But we're gonna get into all that stuff right now. I just want to talk to you more about like how everything started with you. So you're from Washington, right?
Yep.
You're from Washington.
From DC. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So how did you find out? Like, were you just like on social media and you found out there was a casting call to be a worst cook? How did it happen?
I was literally sitting on my couch. It was like the last day of my 2-week off from work, and it was late night, and I was watching some dumb show on HGTV, and here comes this ad, and it's like, are you the worst cook in America? Never seen the show before in my life. And I woke up my husband and I go, I don't know what this is, but I'm signing up.
You've never seen the show before that?
Never seen the show, but I have no idea. I know who Chef Ann is from just like commercials. Never heard of it. And I was like, I can win this. If that's what it really is, I can win this. So I literally signed up. Like, 1 second. I literally signed up. And hold on, my dogs are literally going to kill themselves. Hold on.
Go for it.
Downstairs. This is so weird. Okay. One dog is like woke up and then started a fight. So so I didn't. It asked you. It said you must put like a picture on your bio, and you have to fill out the application. Did you have to do the application too?
Yeah, it was a long process.
It was a whole lot, and I was cracking myself up writing these answers. Like to me, this was the funniest thing I'd ever done. So it said you must send a picture, and I was like, or do the video, and I'm like, I don't have either one, and I'm definitely not going to take a picture right now, like at midnight. It was like 1:00 in the morning. So Tony said, well, just fill it out. So I filled it out. I sent in like an old photo, and they called me at like 9 a.m. my time the next morning. They're like, you're going to be on the show. You have to do the video. You have to do the video, and you have to send in the, whatever you call it, the interview.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you call it. What is it?
Submission, like a video submission.
Like it was like an audition tape. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I did that. I made the jambalaya. My husband and I spent like a lot of time doing this. Like it was like he walked through the store and moved people out of the way and was like, excuse me, we're filming something here. It was really big. It was hysterical.
So for your audition, you went to a grocery store and you filmed it as well?
Yeah, we filmed like 14 hours. They were like, just send in 15 minutes. I sent in like 6 hours of video.
So
it took me that long to cook the jambalaya.
Oh, you cooked jambalaya?
Yeah, I cooked jambalaya. I made everything. It was horrific. I served Tony raw shrimp. It was disgusting. I'd never in my life gone to the grocery store and did a grocery list shopping like we did. Like that was like first for me. So this was legit, authentic me trying to cook.
Oh my! You want to get your dogs? I can pause it right here. Don't worry.
Yeah,
about
totally. He's gonna kill himself.
Go ahead. Go get your dog.
Hold on a minute. This is so strange.
It's okay.
Get over here.
And this is live podcasting,
Come on,
folks.
You're going downstairs.
Come
on,
Bronx. This is staying in.
Come on, let's go.
This is real life. You got any questions for me?
Go in there. You go in there.
This is not.
Come on, go.
That would be cool, though.
Come on. Let's go.
So yeah, this is gonna be a fun episode, guys. Keep watching because Leslie has a lot to say. She was the Mariah Carey of the group, also the mom of the group back in the day when we filmed our season 18, and she has a lot to say. So
all right, I'm coming.
Stay tuned, and here she comes. People are waiting for you, Leslie. See how dramatic she is.
They literally know when I get on a Zoom or our call.
Of course,
they
right?
wait for it, and then they attack each other, and somebody ends up bleeding.
Wow.
So
okay,
anyway.
so you cooked the jambalaya.
Yeah, cook the jambalaya. Tony's watching me making this video. It was
and
so
you have to
stupid.
send it to the people at Worst Cooks, right?
I had already been told I got the job, so I was like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. They're like, "Is that you in the picture?" I was like, 100%. Like, you want to do a Zoom interview right now? Yes. I was like, absolutely. Yeah. So they're like, but you have to, for the audition, you have to send the tape. I was like, okay.
So you already got the yes before you even sent the tape.
Basically.
That's amazing. Mine took 6 months, Leslie.
No way. Maybe
Yeah.
I was a fill-in for somebody who didn't make it. You know, like maybe somebody got the flu or something. I don't know.
Wow.
But it was like 2 months in advance. But
Yeah.
it was from night to morning. I got the job, and they were like, if you want to do the interview, I did it with the casting duo people.
Yeah.
And they were like, can you take off work? I'm like, I can do whatever I want. I'm ready. They're like, well, just send the video. And I did it.
So
and I got on.
I'm asking everybody this question because I would love to see this video. Is it on YouTube?
It's so stupid. No, it's on Vimeo.
Vimeo. Okay.
You remember that one? I don't even know. I had to download Vimeo for this. Never done it before. So I had Vimeo on there, uploaded like 42 videos with like interviews of my family, or they were all like, yeah, no, she literally doesn't cook or clean. Like, that's not her scene. She doesn't do anything like that.
I get a lot of questions asking what was the process like? So how do we get on the show? And if people want to see our audition tape. Like,
yeah, totally.
I'm going to release mine very soon as well, but I think people would love to see yours as well.
So you did a whole video. You just did it in the kitchen like everybody else, like filmed yourself?
I did mine in the kitchen.
Something?
Yep. And I was legit. That was 100% myself. I
didn't
know how to cook. I didn't know how to cut. My wife was laughing her ass off.
What'd you make?
I made the lasagna. I made the cheeseburger lasagna with French fries and garlic bread. It was a mess, Leslie.
It was like, you can mess lasagna. I say that, but like I can't make lasagna. So.
But mine was like a 5-cheese lasagna, and I remember using American cheese on top of it.
Like slices?
Yeah, slices.
I love it. That's like gourmet in my book. I wouldn't have done it.
And
dump a couple bags.
All that's
hysterical,
man, and that's the best part about the show.
So 6 months. It took you 6 months to get.
I remember auditioning
like, the call.
Or sending in that video like in November.
Yeah,
I believe, and then I got the call like in February, so maybe like 4 months.
I sent mine January 2nd. Got the call on the January 3rd.
Yeah, wow.
And then so yeah. I when you meet everybody, you're just like, what's your story? How did you get here? Like
exactly.
No, like I still want to know like. Why did you even go on the show?
So yeah, people like that's the thing. Like, so what do you do for a living when you're not the eye candy apparently for Worst Cooks in America?
Ha! Well, every series has some like blonde idiot. So
you said it, not me.
I was perfectly fine with it. Like I think everybody that knows me knows like I don't take myself seriously at all.
That's
so that's okay. But what was the question?
What do you do for a living?
Oh, I own a hair salon and do hair all day.
Like, so you're able to like travel and do whatever you want then?
I can do whatever I want. I can take off whenever I want. I can work as much as I want or not, or whatever. Right. I mean, I'm busy, but I can make the rules and I just roll out. So.
And that's like a huge factor. I'm assuming with people, like if they can't get time off to go film for a month, like
yeah,
that's hard.
That's exactly what my mind's going to when I'm sitting there looking at everybody. I look at everybody in the room in the like in the green room, and you're like, how'd this plumber get a month off work?
Absolutely.
How'd this girl with 4 kids get off work? Like, I want to know.
Here's the thing.
I can do what I
what
want.
I think for people like me that are in the entertainment business, this is like part of my job. So like I would find a way to get on TV. But like you're saying, like Curtis the plumber, or I'm not sure if you want to be in the entertainment business. It was hard for normal people. Like they're not actors, you know?
No, I love all this stuff. Like you look for reasons to be in entertainment. I look for reasons to get out of work. So this was like ideal. Like they didn't even have to tell me how long I was going to be. They're like, you might be 32 days. I was gone for 42 days. Like, and I just like, I think I told everybody, I was like, oh, I'm stuck in New York. I stayed for like an extra 6 days. Like I just didn't even, I just lied. Oh, I told everybody, it was like, yeah, I remember. Can't make it. They need me for another interview. My husband's like, no, they don't. It's over. I was like, oh, you've been listening.
Okay. So you get the call January 3rd, you're on the show. Obviously you can't tell a lot of people because there's a huge non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah.
Like your close loved ones, right? I'm assuming like I told my wife, I can't just leave her, like see you in a month. Like what the hell?
No. Right.
I'm guessing you told.
I told my husband, I told my parents,
right.
And I didn't give them a lot of I didn't give my parents a lot of details, but I did tell my clients, I was like, look, I'm doing something on TV. Like, I don't just like leave for a month. I said, but I'm not coming back until I'm done with this. So, these people with their hair, these people are serious. Woo! They were like freaking out. What do you mean? Where are you going to go? How long are you going to be gone? I was like, I don't know. I might never come back. I'm just letting you know.
I got to cut you off for a second. For me, like, my beard is like my thing. Right now, I'm kind of rough. When my barber moved to LA, I literally legit had a panic attack. Like, I was like, what am I going to do?
The first thing everybody wants to know is, what am I going to do when your stylist is in any way? Like with the pandemic, do you remember how much press we got in the news about the salons? Like everyone's like, screw the grocery store and where we can go to Walmart. When do I get my hair done?
I can get my hair and nails done.
Yes, these people are crazy. So I was like, I don't know. Don't ask me. I was like, I can't talk about it. And I love that because I talk about everything. And I tell everybody, like, I'm an open book. So when I told them, I'm like, I can't talk about it, they were like, what is it? What does that mean? They were freaking out. And I was like, well, and as soon as I got back, I didn't wait till airing to tell everybody. I was like, look, I was on the show. Yeah. I told I told the people I thought would find it funny. Some people just had no interest in the story whatsoever. They're like, okay, whatever, cut my hair,
Perfect. So, okay, you get the call, you're on the show, and I can say this because I was there. We flew into New York.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember this. The initial meeting of the cast, I wasn't there.
I remember. You were stuck.
Yeah, my plane was stuck in Chicago, and I flew in the night, like midnight. How was it when you met the cast the first time? Like when you came downstairs?
So this is so stupid. So this was like the highlight of my trip, to be honest with you. So I take the train up with my husband. We went and did like a New York thing, stayed at the St. Regis for a couple nights. And then I took an Uber, which I thought was going to be like a long ride, but it was like 4.5 minutes from the St. Regis to the Hyatt place. And I'm like, what a downgrade. I was like, oh, bummer. But I love the Hyatt place, was great. But I get out and I'm like, I said, this isn't it. And they were like, no, this is your stop. But I'm like, well, then I must have put it in Waze wrong because this ain't it. And they were like, because, coming down underneath that bridge, it's like, this is like this is scary. Yeah. I was like, now. They were like, do you want help with your luggage? I was like, no, because this isn't where I'm staying. And they're like, get out of my car. So I went inside and I saw Jamie and Kristen there, our just like supervisors, chaperones. And I just like, don't know why I clicked with them so fast. I sat down at the table and I was like talking about weird TV shows and really disturbing things. Like most people would look at you like you're nuts. And I started talking about some really weird stuff and we just hit it off. So the funny thing is when everybody started showing up for the cast, I'm so weird. I'm so used to like introducing myself and hi, nice to meet you. Everybody thought I worked with them for the whole first day. Yeah. Cause like the next day people were like, oh, you're on the show? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I was introducing you and like giving you paperwork to fill out. I'm actually your competition. Yeah. I was like, I'm competing against you and I'm going to win. So
exactly. I'm not here to make friends. I got friends,
Absolutely. And when I was sitting at the table, it was me and Kristen and Jamie. Like I was first, but Monica had gotten there before me and she was up in the room sleeping because she'd gotten in like a day ago. And in like literally like a tornado, spins in Lulu and what's her name? Oh my goodness, Jolene. So can you imagine sitting here and the first impression you get of the worst cooks people, and I've never even seen the show, so I don't know what I'm looking for. And in rolls Lulu and Jolene, and I'm like, what on earth am I doing here? Yeah. That was my first impression. And I was like, oh, I got this.
Exactly. Like, oh, okay. But then they actually turned out being pretty good cooks.
Oh, they were awesome. Jolene was like the funniest person I've ever met.
I know.
But like, they ran through the doors like somebody had like a tornado pushed them through, and like bags are flying and trash follows them in off the street, and there's like tumbleweed. I'm like, what is this? And we all turned to them and looked, and we were like, this is the weirdest event. Like those two at the same time. It's bizarre.
Like, I agree. It's not a shot at them. It's just
no, not at all. It was like they're characters. Absolutely, they are characters. And I thought, oh, this is a real personality competition right here. These people are funny.
Exactly.
And I mean, from day one, they were cracking me up.
I remember when I got in, it was like at midnight, and I was the only one there, and I'm like, man, I really want to meet these people. And then I was like, I'm going to be left out. Like, I'm like a little redheaded stepchild, going to meet everybody later. So I came down around 2 a.m. and I saw some guy in the lobby, and he was heating up like a cup of noodles and under like the hot water. I'm like, it might be a worst cook in America. I don't know. So I went up to him and I was like, hey, how you doing, man? Trying to fill out. I can't ask him if he's on the show because I don't know who it is. I'm like, you ever cook? He's like, yeah, I love cooking. Like, are you on a show by any chance? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, sorry, never mind.
Never mind.
Man, I remember the next day I went downstairs from my room and I saw everybody. I saw Lulu and the tutu. I'm like, okay, this is the cast. I remember.
I was so excited to see that you made it. Like, I had invested a lot of time in finding out where your plane was a lot. I was like, where's Jefferson? What happened to Jefferson? Does anybody know where Jefferson is? They're like, why do you care? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
well, I just want to make sure this guy gets here.
It was stressful. I remember it was like an 8-hour like delay.
Yeah.
On my plane. I don't know. I'm gonna get into my episode.
What a nightmare.
But I want to talk to you guys more. So besides clicking with like Kristen and Jamie, the producers of the show, who else did you find yourself like buddy with on the cast?
Bridget, day one, she referred to me as another middle-aged woman. And I was like, I'm going to kill myself right here.
What did she say?
Yeah. She's like, oh, good. So, okay. So I'm trying to figure it out. There's, these two guys in their 20s, and then there's us, the two middle-aged women. I was like, I was 35. What? I was like, I'm older. Middle-aged woman. That like hurt. And I was like, well, I like this girl, but we just clicked. Like, I love Bridget. I get a lot of questions about Bridget, but like Bridget was really cool. I loved her.
She's super nice.
So
she's
nice.
About like 8'9", but she's so
yes.
Nice. Yeah, she's so nice. And I saw her too. I think the first people I saw, I believe, was Lulu and Bridget. Actually, I'm like, okay, this is this makes sense. I can't tell you how perfectly casted that cast was.
It couldn't have been any better. It was a perfect person for every personality that you needed there.
I agree.
And I loved that. I loved, like, they nailed it.
And I'm not just saying that because it's
my
agree. Season. Like,
that's the thing. It's going to be cool to see the dynamic of like, everything that's after us. Like season 19 was pretty cool. Season 20 was cool. I think season 20 has been out. Oh, I mean, like the celebrity edition. Like they were all really cool. But our season was awesome.
It was. It really was. And
I mean, it was.
I feel like we all got along so well on that show.
Yes.
And I definitely want to get into that. I remember you being like just the mom of the group.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we both there was like 3 or 4 of us that got really sick.
Oh, yeah.
I lost my taste buds in episode 2. A lot of people don't know. I couldn't taste shit. I couldn't taste anything. But you gave me something.
Oregano oil.
Cleared up right away. I'm like,
I know. I burned your taste buds right back into your mouth again. I was like, here, open it. And the funny thing is, like, people assume that I know what I'm talking about because I have no idea what I'm talking about ever. So, like, I have a boat. People assume I know how to boat. I don't even swim, but I just take people out. Like, people assume if I'm going to cook for you, it's going to be good. I'm terrible, but they just go along with it. I bring a big bag of, like, herbs and weird stuff, and people are like, I'm like, here, open your mouth. I'm dropping this in there. Like, okay. Like you and everybody else are like, what? I was like, here, this will help you. And you're like, okay, I'll take it. So you just did it. And it
Yeah,
helped.
it
You were the guinea pig. I'd never taken that stuff before.
Oh, thanks. I remember you telling me because you were a huge American Idol fan, and you're like,
yes.
what's her name?
The one that just had the baby, Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
It was Katy Perry who had she recommended it for
and
losing
why
her
do
voice.
I remember that right now? That's crazy.
I don't know. That's a good memory.
You're like,
and
yeah,
I
Katy
just
Perry told me to take this. I'm like, okay.
So I Amazoned it right to the Hyatt Place door. And I remember putting it in my water, and it smells like if you put a cigarette in a bottle of water and put the lid back on, it smelled like trash. So, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give it a shot. And I drank that bottle and I felt so much better. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take this downstairs with me. I was putting it in everybody's mouth. Mike too. I dropped it on his lip, and his lip went numb for like 2 hours.
I remember. So like the consensus is we're blaming this all on Kevin, because Kevin's the first 100%. One that got sick, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to be having him on my show soon, and we're definitely going to talk about him getting.
Kevin is the most underrated, funniest person in the entire world.
I love that. I agree so much.
Right?
He's so.
I mean, oh my goodness.
A character, like he doesn't even know, he doesn't even have to try, and he's just like, I can look at him and just like have fun with him, like laugh.
Absolutely. He's hysterical. And I would like the last night Kevin was on the show, I remember him, I was carrying like literally, you know how much stuff I used to carry back and forth to the studio? I had a pillow, I had my makeup bag, I had my hair bag, I had it all just in case anything would happen, right? Pillow, blanket. So I'm carrying all this stuff, and I'm literally holding it like I'm holding 3 children in my arms, carrying it up. And he stops me in the hallway, and I'm clearly struggling, and he's just talking to me like for like 12 minutes straight. And I'm like, this guy is hysterical. No help, no acknowledgement that I'm gonna fall on the floor. And he's just talking to me about everything in the world. And I'm like, I love this guy. He's so clueless right now, but I love him.
That's perfect.
I loved him. Everybody was really just so fun. Everybody was fun. Monica was cool. I didn't really get a chance to like hang with Monica much, but like I really liked her. So you missed the first night.
Monica and I, like, we became like instant like best friends out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's one of my favorite people, definitely.
Yeah.
She's so down to earth. I'm gonna have her on.
Yes.
I do believe I was robbed. I think she should have went home. I'm just gonna say
that.
Okay.
Let's see. What did you go home for? What was the meal?
Let me tell you, Leslie.
Because I've watched it 1,000 times. Tell me.
My spices were burnt. But she gave the dude raw chicken. Okay.
So yes,
you can't eat raw chicken. You can eat spicy food.
Thank you. Oh, so you forgot the spices on what you were cooking and put them on later.
I forgot to put the spices in the flour, so I put them on the chicken.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh man. Common sense, And it sent you home for that?
Yeah.
Please. That was brutal. It was sad. I know. One day you're going to get another chance to redeem yourself.
It's not about me right now. It's about you. And I want to talk more about you right now.
I can talk about me forever.
What are some of the things? So again, this podcast is more about like behind the scenes stuff.
Oh yeah.
Not too much about the cooking. We'll get into that obviously. But what are some of the things that you did that you weren't supposed to do? Like
everything.
Your hotel room or anything? Like, you have any cool stories?
I've got so many stories I'm not supposed to talk about. Yeah, I had a blast. One of the things that it's not something I wasn't supposed to do, but one of the things that was like, it really Bridget made my day. Like Bridget was so funny because I was really stressed about like everything. I cried about like everything, and Bridget would hide in my closet and scare me. I have video of this.
Are you serious?
She'd put her 6'8" body into that wardrobe and she'd jump out and scare me to death. I mean, she was funny. I have so many videos of her and I just like acting out, and Kristen, was, always
I love
entertaining us. Oh, I had so much fun.
It was so fun. And
it was
the way they treat us, like the production, the crew, literally anything we want, like to eat.
Yeah.
It's
totally
there in a second. It's a lot of people don't know that. People think we're just eating like just trash food or whatever. No.
Yeah, like vending machine food. They're like, "What did you do the whole time?" I'm like, I literally ate 4 meals a day.
I know.
And I had the same breakfast every day, like twice. I ate a lot. And the way they feed like the people in the crew is so good. So like lunch was always good. I mean, please. I wasn't going to complain. I'd have been fine with anything. But yeah, when Kevin got everybody sick though, that was brutal. Like there was no eating after that for like 2 days for me.
Do you remember the episode? It was the first or it was the second time I was bringing my food up, and I was walking my dish to Elton, and I had a little tickle in my nose,
I
and
do.
I was like gonna sneeze.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's when it started. Like I couldn't, like I needed to like sneeze, and it didn't happen.
Oh,
That's when it first started hitting right there. And then
you knew
the
right
next
then and
episode, I
there.
couldn't taste anything at all.
That ain't
It was
good.
bad.
But you didn't feel like you had the flu though?
I don't
It
remember.
was more like stomach. Everybody had stomach issues.
I don't.
I remember when it hit me, I was under the lights watching the guy, my least favorite episode to film, to work on, to make. I hated that Chinese food episode.
100%.
You did too?
My
I
my least
hated
favorite
it.
one. I was so stressed about that episode.
Yes.
I'm not art. I
Everybody
can't
was.
do that stuff.
I can't either. I hated it. And I mean, everything about it was so stressful. And so that's when I was like, I think the night before is when I threw up my Chipotle. And I was like, okay, I can't do this. I think I'm going to be better in the morning, right? I think I'm going to be okay. And then I find out that everybody has it and it starts to kind of go away. We're standing underneath those lights, what felt like to be the longest, what do you call that when they teach you the, like, they're
The
sitting there
culinary.
teaching you. Yeah. Like the
Yeah, the
culinary.
walkthrough.
Yeah. They're not the walkthrough, but like the thing where they're actually teaching you. What do you call
Oh, the
that?
demo.
The
Yeah.
demo. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the demos, that one felt like it was 5 hours long because I'm standing in those hot lights and Joe Lynn had been really, really sick. And I'm such a hypochondriac. They're like, Joe Lynn, Leslie, could you move a little closer? I was like literally turning to the side. I was like, I'm not getting a sec, like any closer to the, cannot. She's heavy breathing. She's like sweating. I'm sweating. We're really sick. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is the worst. And that's when they noticed my attitude sucked. They were like, you need to quit with the bad attitude. I'm like, I'm miserable. I have to puke. Oh, it was awful. Underneath those lights, I just was like soaking wet.
I remember. So okay, so you meet the cast, you meet everybody. We're all acquaintance now, and like you go down to the studio where we film. And the first time you bust through those open doors, like how do you feel? Like the first day in boot camp, like who you see, or how do you feel?
Oh, I have so many funny things about that. But I don't think I ever really knew what I was looking forward to, like what I was getting into. So when we walked in there, I'm thinking to myself, the cameras are on and I'm supposed to look excited about kitchen stuff that I have no idea what this stuff is. Like, I'm not excited about, I'm like, wow, our faces are so like, oh, look at this, it's a refrigerator. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
not like,
ooh,
woo,
a lot of
like,
metal.
yeah, a lot of metal. Like, okay, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to look. Like, I can't, it doesn't really hit me that like they're filming this.
Yeah.
So I just look like an idiot. Like I look like a lunatic. Like I'm smiling at everything,
Did you know
I'm
who
like,
Chef Ann was?
I knew who she was, but like I just from like things on TV, but I would have never known that she was the person that was hosting the show. Like I never put two and two together. I never thought about it that long. I never watched an episode of it.
Never
So I was
watched
like,
it.
no, I was like, I'll figure it out when I get there. If this is a legit competition of bad cooking, getting better, I can win anything. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm so competitive.
Did you know who Alton Brown was?
No clue.
No clue.
No clue. But I did call my husband that night and I'm like, there's this guy named, I think I kept calling, like, in the whole season, I called him Elton, Alden,
Same
Aston, everything but Alton, right? And I was like, who? Tony was like, he's like, you gotta be kidding me. You know how famous he is? I was like, I literally have no idea. No clue. I was like, he kind of looks like you. He's bald. He's got glasses and a really good suit. So I was like, that's about all I know. And he has a cute dog, like our dog. So no, I had no idea. It was so weird. Do you remember when we had to do the promo day, which never aired?
With the dog?
Because it sucked. No, it was the promo day where we all out there. That never even happened, did it?
It never aired.
Because it was terrible.
We had I remember I was holding like 18 pots and pans in my hand.
Yeah.
Alex was getting carted out on like a stretcher.
Yes. The water like pretended to come down from the ceiling or whatever, or like the umbrella.
What was your thing? What did you do on that?
I was supposed to, I failed miserably. And I remember they were so rude to me about it too. They wanted me to open the oven door and they were giving me these really vague instructions, but it was never right. I was supposed to open the door with smoke inside of it, but not let the smoke out entirely and not hit Elton with the door. So I kept opening it. He would jump out of the way and I was like, okay, I literally thought I was supposed to open it that big. And they're like, you don't have to open it that much, just this much. And I'm like, but let the smoke out, but not too much. And I'm like, this isn't rocket science. And I'm really failing at this miserably. And then poor Shannon had to say the same line 400 times and kept getting it wrong. And then Anne screwed up 1,000 times. I'm like, this is the worst. I don't know anything about commercials, but this is the worst commercial I've ever seen.
Let me explain to the people watching what Leslie's talking about. So it was a commercial for a TV spot introducing us as the cast, and I was carrying pans and dropping them. I think Monica set something on fire. Mike had something with a blender.
Mike, no, they had to pretend to chop lettuce with a spoon or something. Like, it's really stupid things.
Right. And that's the only thing that was staged. Everything else was 100% us.
Yeah, 100%.
They went with the other commercial, like I forgot how it went, but that was supposed to be our commercial. They never aired it. That's right.
It was basically like, they never used even like any pieces of it, and it took so long. It was a full day.
It was a whole day.
Right. And then like all the stuff that they did, like remember all those photos that we did, like the professional photos I never saw any of those. I almost think that they did it just to make us like have something to do. They never used any of that stuff.
I think I saw one and I took a screenshot of it, but it was like from a magazine. I don't remember.
For who? Oh, who was that?
It was some kind of cooking blog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I remember Ryan was like covered in flour, like in his nose, ruined his shoes. And he was like,
he was mad about that.
He was so mad. You have got to get Ryan on here.
Of course I'm getting Ryan. Those were Louis Vuitton shoes or Gucci. I remember.
Yeah. He was so mad. You have got to, after you do him, we need to get on there together because Ryan and I him and I connected pretty well. I didn't see him offset like much, but like in the green room, that was like my couch buddy.
Because he was,
Yeah, exactly. It was like you guys were together, and then when I was in there with him, we would just sit there and make fun of everybody. It was great. Like we had so much fun together.
I remember you two were like look at
he was so funny. I mean, I loved it. And he would he'd go in there and claim the sofa so we'd have somewhere to sit, and I'd bring all the pillows.
I remember.
But yeah, it's so funny how you like get all these weird
Let's talk about that. Like, so filming days, we're talking about long hours. 30 minutes. So the first half hour of the show that's aired from Food Network, that's 1 day of work. That's not a full day. The next part is a whole other day. We have to wear the same clothes. People don't think
that's a big question. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask that. Don't they ask that? Like, especially with interview looks, they're like, how does that work?
Right.
And especially I'm such a like huge Real Housewives fan. I'm always like, how do you even like that's just good producing, right? Good producers. Absolutely. Because you can't sit there like without somebody provoking the questions to you, and you go because Dan, I loved like Dan was like he was so fun. He'd be like, so tell me what you thought about when you walked in. I'm like, I can't believe we're making food from New Orleans, and he's like, no, you're not. I was like, oh, I'm not. Like he had to like get me keep asking me questions. I'm like, what did we do again?
Because you got to talk in present tense.
Yeah, you got to talk in present tense about something that happened 2 days ago, and I'm like, I don't remember.
Like right now, I'm
no idea.
This. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard.
Yeah.
But that's your producer. So everybody asked about the clothes. Like, how were you in the same outfit? Like, how long did it take to do that? I'm like, no, you literally hang your clothes on a hanger, get your hair and makeup to look exactly the same every day, and then go in there and do those interviews that take forever.
Yeah. So for the people that are a little bit confused, the first half hour of the show is a baseline cook where nobody goes home. No one's eliminated.
Right.
And that is 1 day of shooting. The next part, when people go home, the elimination day, that's also a whole day of shooting. So it's 2 days for one episode.
For one episode, yeah. Plus the interviews. So you're just running in and out of like, you're running in from, you just cook something to Leslie, 5 minutes, you have an interview, and Jefferson, you got to go. And all of a sudden you got to go discuss something that like, you can be really upset about something that just happened. Like for me, I was very upset all the time. And then, I have to talk about something really funny 2 days ago, and I'm like such a bad mood because I just got screamed at. So
let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh man.
So like your personality to me, I think me and you got along really well as well, because you're a
for sure
person. You like to talk. I'm like, yeah, I can get along with this girl.
I thought I scared you, to be honest with you.
No. That's
because the look on your face was like, what on earth is this?
I love that. Like you're very dramatic. That's my type. I can get along with people like that. I love it. So for me, when I saw you on, and then I watched it back the episodes, and when Anne was yelling at you, I feel like you shut down a little bit. Am I wrong?
So there was so many reasons, like there were so many times where she freaked out at me and screamed at me, but like a lot of the times she was yelling at me, there was so much more that led up to that time. Like it was so much, and she was so mean, and like the knife thing, like where I pulled out the wrong knife. four
Like the
times.
5 different knives.
I didn't have a chef's knife. Like, you think I'm stupid? I know. I'm like, well, I guess to try this one. I guess to try this one. And I kept pulling out the wrong knife. That was a nice day. But like, normally she was really like, she was screaming at me about my attitude because I think it was because, let me see. Because I was a hypochondriac. I'm freaking out that I'm getting sick. Everybody's getting sick. It was right before I got sick. And she's like, what is your problem? So she comes down off of her perch and she's right in my face. She's like, what is your deal? I'm like, I'm freaking out. I'm having a panic attack. And I love that you're calling me out on national television because I have no idea like what is happening. She's like, well, what is your problem? Are you sick? I said, not yet. She's like, well, then get over it. I'm like, that's really easy for you to say, but I'm literally having a panic attack right now.
They didn't air that, right?
No. And that's like right before she goes back up there and we have like a thing back and forth where she's like, how about a big fat cup of shut it? And I'm like, I'd love that very much. You know, we went back and forth.
Attitude. Yeah.
It was bad. Like there's so much that led up to it, but she was rough with me. I mean, people felt bad for me. That was the most messages I got about anything else where they were like, Anne was so mean to you. I felt that way, but I loved every minute of it. I was like, more attention, the better. I don't care if you scream at me. I don't care what you do. I loved it. Everyone's like, I feel so bad for you. I was like, you don't have to feel bad for me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved it.
I love that.
I loved it. I was like,
same
whatever.
way, like with Kelly, if you remember Kelly.
Oh man.
They didn't show half of that stuff, but
no.
Alton was literally the worst to her.
Yeah, 100%.
Playful. That's how he is, though. Like a lot of people.
Yeah, sarcastic.
Like, he's an ass, but like no, it's just he's very funny and witty.
He's
smart. That's just how his personality. And I was trying to
sarcastic and witty, and that does not come across well. Like if you don't get the whole, like out of context, it looks like he's being really nasty.
Right.
But
and
man, Kelly and
I'm like, yo, just take it. This is just for TV. Like this is how it is. And she's like, but I don't understand. So she cried a lot. I'm like, I felt so bad.
She used to take me into the bathroom and be like, they can't do this to me. They can't talk to me like this. I'm like, okay, I thought I was bad. Then I was like, girl, it's a TV show. We're literally, it's just cooked. Like, but when it's you get really upset. Like you get really upset about it. Cause I was like, I feel like I'm being set up every day. I was like, why is she screaming? But then Chef Ann would look at me and she'd look down at my feet and she'd go, I like your shoes. And I was like,
let's talk about those shoes.
I was like, okay.
Bought from Amazon and you had them delivered to your hotel room?
So let me be very clear. Those were not from Amazon. I let everybody believe they were from Amazon because I didn't want to say that I spent $800 to $85 on those shoes.
Leslie, are you serious?
I'm a shoe person.
Oh my God.
So somebody said, oh, did you get them from Amazon? And I was like, yeah. They're Stella McCartney. They're $8.85. And I paid for overnight shipping to get them from New York City across the bridge. Like, I'm not ashamed of my diva-ness. I wanted those shoes. I was going to wait. I had those shoes and another pair of shoes, depending on, like you with your hats. Remember, you had a red and a blue hat, depending on what team you were going to get on.
Absolutely.
I had a pair of like blue sneakers that I never got to wear. And I was like, oh, I really didn't think, like, I don't know why I didn't think about buying the red shoes, but I had them in my cart. And I showed, because you remember how they were kind of particular about what you could wear?
Yeah.
Like I didn't wear anything I normally wear in real life, like except for that leather shirt. That'd be something I would wear. But everything else is like, I don't wear t-shirts and jeans. It's just not my style. I don't even have, I had to go buy it. Everybody's like, what are you wearing? I was like, I have no idea.
Mariah
like,
Carey don't wear jeans and a t-shirt.
Hello, thank you. I mean, Housewives of the Food Network, and I'm on there in like jeans and a t-shirt and $800 sneakers. But I was like, you're not going to take away everything. So I showed it to Kristen, the person in charge of like what we're allowed to wear. And I was like, am I allowed to wear these? She's like, yeah, sure. Why not? I was like, order. So I ordered them and I got them there. Literally, they have a service for this one particular store and they have 24-hour delivery in New York City. So I had them in my cart. And since we were across the bridge, I got them delivered by 6 a.m.
That's amazing.
But I totally
you had it from Amazon. I thought they were like maybe $50 shoes or whatever.
No, they were fabulous, and I still have them.
Still have them? Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like I have no shame, but I definitely wasn't gonna like sit there and make a scene about my shoes. But yeah, all my shoes were amazing.
Well, you handled it really well. Like, yeah, you were very poised. Because for me, like whenever like they didn't show a lot of stuff between me and Alton.
I know.
I was giving him a lot of shit back because I
wish I saw that,
but they didn't air a lot of it, and I'm gonna talk about that in my episode. But for you too, like when I saw her just giving you shit, I'm like, oh man. Like,
well, that's the crazy thing. Like you don't even realize. Like I could not wait to see because you and I would come back and I'd be like, how'd it go? And you'd go, man, that was rough. And I'm like, well, like what happened? But there's so much to think about. Like, you don't even know what to talk. Like, there's so much that just happened in that last 4 hours that you're like, I don't even know where to go with this. I could not wait to see you on the episodes. And you and Mike were hands down fan favorites of the blue team across the board with everybody I spoke to.
Yeah.
They were like, Jefferson, like your cartwheel joke, that went a long way. That was so good and on time. Yeah. Like that was really
good. I owe
good.
Shannon that one. I wasn't even thinking of that.
Well, I'll let everybody know that because they're like, that's funny. It was. I mean, you and Mike were like, I mean, hysterical. I'm like, man, if they ever do this again, I wouldn't want to do this with Jefferson. This was so fun.
I agree, man. Like, I would love to do it again. The thing is,
you played off everybody really well. Like everybody you worked with, it was really funny.
Yeah, thank you. And that's the thing. I'm a people person at the end of the day. So like, I can get along with anybody, Leslie. Like, honestly, like my blue team, I actually hung out with a lot more of the red team as well. Like it was
right.
Shannon a lot, Ryan, and then Mike and Monica a lot. We were like a little bad clique. We did a lot of stuff we weren't supposed to do. And we'll get into that one of these days. For sure.
I remember, no doubt.
Because we have a lot of downtime as well once we're not filming. When we're just hanging out in a hotel room. But these days are like 16-hour days.
Really, really long. And for me, getting up to do my hair and makeup, I gotta my alarm is still on my phone for 4:15 every morning.
Wow.
4:15. It's still on there. I won't delete it because it was like such a good memory. I loved it. So I left it. I took and that's how I met Bridget, because Kelly's up doing her Pilates at 4 a.m. Bridget's downstairs doing her workout. Did she
ever stop working out? Even
literally never. Who took her rubber bands?
Everywhere. Literally.
No, somebody took them. Do you remember?
Oh no.
Her exercise bands. No. Somebody's gonna admit to that one day, but somebody took her exercise bands and it crushed her heart. It was so bad. She's like, "Where's my bands?"
She was literally working out every second.
Every day,
like eating the healthy. I mean, she got her body is like amazing. Like
clearly, yes, it works. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, she was hysterical. Like I'd be up at 4:15. I'm like, Kelly, she was so sweet to me. She'd send me the nicest messages ever. Like she was so kind to me. I loved her. Oh,
she's such a kind soul. Like everything about her, she's so nice. And I hope that people like got that when they're watching her episodes, because she did.
I don't think she gets enough airtime
because you know she's different character. She actually, I felt she knew how to cook. I think a lot of people felt that in our season, like, oh, what is she doing here? She knows how to cook. So I think that had like a bad stigma
absolutely.
On her. But I mean,
from the get-go, and it was kind of like, I mean, I don't really care if she knows how to cook. She's not really even on my team, so I really don't even care. But it was like, if I have to go against this girl at the end, and I thought it was going to be me and Kelly. I really did. Somebody said to me, like episode 7, they're like, Chef Ann wants you on the finale. So all this like stress to me, I was like, what are you kidding? I know it was, I'm not going to say, but I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? They're like, she wants you to go to the end. And I was like, what are you kidding? She's like, but like, it was like a legit thing. Cause they said, but you keep screwing up. Like you always screw up at the end of everything. So I was like, that's a lot of pressure. And then I totally screwed up my lobster roll at the end, which was very dramatic.
So let's talk about that.
That was horrible.
The episode that you got sent home, it was episode 8 or 9?
It was 9. It was the steak episode. That was me and Shannon head to head.
You and Shannon head to head. And what was the dish that sent you home?
We had to do, well, what should have sent me home was the week before that was the lobster rolls, because you made slaw and lobster rolls and bread, and it was so easy. I cracked if they would have shown it, I'm from Maryland, I can crack some crabs now. I cracked that lobster and got the meat out of it. They were like, dang, you could see the smoke coming from my hands. I pulled that lobster meat out. My meal was perfection. And they were like, oh, she's going to get this. Like, I knew I was going to win that. At the last second, I put my slaw and my lobster mix in the same bowl and mixed it up. It's supposed to be it's not supposed to be in the same thing. So I did it, and that's when she comes barreling down there screaming, and then the commercial goes to break. She's like, what did you just do? I was like, nothing. Don't you dare look at this. I was like, do not even, you need to walk away. So I got really panicked and I was so upset. But the reason I got sent home was the steak episode. My steak was cooked pretty good. Shannon just outdid me. Shannon was the hardest competition of anybody there. Shannon is absolutely all around 100%. Like, she's so smart. Yeah. She's charming. She's sweet. She's beautiful. that girl is the full package. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like people don't really, I think you see it on the show, but you don't really see as much as what we saw, obviously. But Shannon is like, she is the full package. I mean,
I agree.
100%.
She played the game really well. She was
She
kind of
did.
quiet and just like, making sure she can
Oh, yeah.
everybody out. And she did. Yeah,
She
had a
did. Well,
game.
her and I always came up with the same things that like every episode they go, okay, so you're going to make, I don't know, like let's say a salad. I think I don't remember what it was, but I did some stupid salad that didn't turn out well. But like before every episode, and you get hours between knowing what you're going to have to make and then going to cook, right? So
Yeah.
Shannon and I realized really early on that we had the same ideas. Exactly. So I'd be like, okay, you write yours down, I'll write mine down. Let's see how close we are. Identical. Asian
Wow.
salad with pears and blue cheese or something that was really strange. And it wasn't that, but it was always right exactly the same. So I was like, okay, who's going to change their idea? Or are we just going to go head to head and try to win? I only won at one episode and I was always in the bottom two. So I won the first episode and went downhill from there. But like that steak episode, I didn't struggle with anything. I killed it. So I was like really shocked that I didn't make it to the end. But they asked me, that episode, what are you going to do with the money? And I think that this is what, like, if it had nothing to do with cooking, like I can tell you right now, Shannon and I both did really good that episode.
Yeah.
It had everything to do with my answer. I was like, what money? I didn't even know there was any prize money.
Are you kidding?
And they were like, what are you going to do with the money? And I said, what's the money? What's the prize? And they're like, it was 25,000. I was like, you can give it to Shannon. I just want to win the title.
Amazing.
And she's like, I want to buy my mom a house and I want to do this. And I was like, oh, I don't care. I mean, who doesn't want 25,000? But I was like, I came here for the title. Like, I don't care about the 25,000.
Oh,
I was like, you can give it
right now.
We can donate it. I really don't care. So I was so they were like, you got to give a better story than that. Yeah. And I was like, I literally don't have a story. I was like, I don't know, split it amongst everybody. I just want the title. So I think
that's a great story. What are they talking about?
That sucks. I mean, that really sucks. I was like, I don't know. What are you talking about? I was like, there's money. There's money involved.
I was going to ask you, what would you have done differently that one episode that sent you home?
What I do in the food, the cooking thing?
Yeah.
The whole cooking thing. I think because I always screw up the last second, the one thing I would have done different was I never do anything to completion right. Like I do everything twice. And that's what Chef Ann kept telling everybody. She screws up the first time around every single time. So like for this one, my steak, you're supposed to keep it in the pan, put it in the oven. I took it out of the pan.
Yeah.
It's
little
potatoes,
things like that. Exactly.
Constant redoing your same thing. Potatoes are supposed to be like, you flip them and then you put them in the oven. I never flipped them. I put it right in there. She's like, what are you doing? There was like a constant battle of like, don't you? And I don't know how to take notes. I didn't go to school. I've never taken a note in my life. I can probably barely read. Like this is a big deal. Like Bridget has like the memory of like, this girl can memorize anything just without writing any notes
Really?
down. I'm writing everything and never looked at my notes. I drew pictures. Like none of my stuff made sense.
If you're not a good note taker, it's going to be hard for you to cook. So
unless you have a good memory, but I don't have either of those.
Exactly.
So it was just like a complete, like, it was so confusing. When I opened my book up, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, why didn't I just watch what she was doing and do it? But I'm like,
simple.
Pick up pan. I'm like, that's the kind of stuff I wrote down. Pick up pan. Dark pan. Non-stick. I don't even know what that means, but I'm like taking notes.
That's legit. We're really
stupid
worst cooks in America, man.
The
like,
worst.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is real life.
Yeah, real life. Like, and I'm so like, I don't know. I guess I'm so particular with my notes. Were so specific on things that didn't matter.
Yeah.
That by the time I opened my book up, I'm like, I'm so lost. Every episode, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I felt the same way, man. And we're definitely going to talk about. You ever get recognized in public by any chance?
Yes. This is the whitest thing ever. I got recognized in Home Goods. Is that funny or what?
The whitest thing ever.
Absolutely. That was like with my Starbucks, and it wasn't a pumpkin spice. Thank you, Jefferson. I know you make fun of that.
I love a pumpkin spice. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Hello.
Yeah, that's like your thing. So I was walking around Home Goods. This happened a couple times, not at Home Goods, but other places. Home Goods was the biggest one. I was walking around with my Starbucks, and I was like killing time. And this lady like looked at me, and she goes, "Excuse me." She goes, "You're that girl from the Food Network." And I was like, "Indeed I am." And Tony's like, "Oh, for the love of God." And he walks away. He's like, "Okay, whatever." And I was like, hold up. Yes, I am. So she goes and gets her daughter. This is pre-mask, so you could tell who people were.
Yeah,
but exactly. That was really cool. I was like, yes.
Yeah, it's fun. That's
So
cool.
fun. Like,
I love it.
how
I
about
think a
you? You get
lot of people
recognized
liked
for
you too.
this?
Like I go you know, Twitter diving sometimes late at night, and I'll see people talking about how much they really enjoyed you on that show as well.
Really? I never
Yeah.
looked.
Yeah.
Oh,
A
that's
lot
good
of
to
people
know. I had
liked you.
no
They're
clue.
like, "Oh, I like her attitude, you know, she doesn't give a shit. I can tell. That's cool." Yeah.
I cared a lot more than it came off. But I really don't. I'm like, I mean, it's so weird. Like people got really offended that they were called like their food sucked. I'm like, I know my food sucks.
Right. That's
What do
what
you
we're
think
there.
yeah, that's
We're
why
trying
we're
to learn
there.
from the best. Like these chefs are actually they're world renowned. They're chefs. They're
It's
amazing
like,
chefs.
who's not going to take the time to like take this in? I cook all the time, Jefferson. I'm not like somebody who can like throw in, like, I didn't go on the show to learn how to like use a crock pot. I don't consider that cooking. Like, I went on there to learn how to do things properly and then go advance it. I am a really good cook.
That's awesome. See, that
Like,
was my
it's
next question. If
shocking.
you're still cooking or anything like that, like, have
Oh,
you learned
yeah.
anything? That's awesome.
Everything I learned, and I think like the biggest takeaway was like the mise en place method. You put all the things in order.
That was
Like
amazing.
when she
Yeah.
was doing that, I was like, oh, give me a break. No, this is so stupid.
I
In my
agree.
mind, it was all so stupid. And then I was like, I can't do anything without my small bowls.
I know, right?
I have to have my bowls. Tony, I
Oh,
can't work without my bowls. Everything is like really particular, and I have to have. Oh, and the funny thing is, like, one of the biggest things that's changed since the show, the day I got back, I was like, we have to move. I need a bigger kitchen, and we moved um we moved before the show aired.
I love it.
No, we actually lived in the house in that place for the first episode so we could have like a big party, and then we moved by the next episode, and I have a ginormous kitchen now.
I
And it
love
was
it.
legit like what I needed to do. And they were asking me on the episode, like the final episode, they're like, what's going to change for you or something like that at the end.
Yeah,
And I said, oh, I'm going to go back and I'm going to buy every single utensil that I use on that show.
I
Everything
remember
I'm
you
buying.
saying that.
I literally bought every single thing we used. Tony took me shopping like that week. He was like, it was my birthday, March. He's like, I want to take you shopping. We don't normally do that. I buy my own stuff. And he was like, I want you to you can go wherever you want. He took me to some store I never stopped at. He's like, I want you to go in and buy. I was like, I ain't going in there. He's like, I'm kidding. We're going to Sur La Table. So we went in there and I bought like every cookware that I mean, the thought of me buying cookware, do you understand? That is so foreign to me.
I agree. I have no idea. My wife
Ever.
used to be one of the district managers for Sur La Table, and I still don't
Really?
even know. Yeah, in Chicago.
Lucky you. No way.
So we have everything like you can think of. So much stuff. Like, why do we need this weird frother thing? Like, can we just like? There's so many.
You're going to find a reason to use it now. Trust
Oh,
me when I
yes.
tell you. I'm like, I love to hear that people cook though after the show. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, but for me, it's still the same. Like, I don't really cook because my wife is this amazing like chef, so I don't have to.
That's so awesome.
But like, I'll try
Yeah.
here once in a while. But you're
Yeah,
definitely
like,
the
it's
princess of season 18.
1,000%. Like, you can tell, like, I don't think I've seen anybody's story on Instagram or anything like they posted any food, like,
Right.
at all. I think you made like a sandwich, and I was like really excited about that.
Speaking of
No,
Instagram,
I think you
where
made
can people
like,
find you
didn't
at,
you
Leslie?
made those subs? I think you made those subs when you got back, those onion burgers.
Yeah, those
That I
sliders
saw.
were
That's
good.
the only thing I've seen you make.
That's
but
the only
was
thing
really
I probably
excited.
cooked. Yeah. Where
I
can
was
people
really
find you,
excited.
girl, on your social media?
Yeah, Instagram, Leslie Rivera. I think, you know what? I gotta actually check because I changed my name. Isn't that awful? I think
Go
it's
ahead.
just Leslie Rivera Silva. Yeah, Leslie Rivera Silva, all one word.
Okay.
That's it.
Type
Yep.
in princess of worst
Yeah,
cooks in America. That should
it
come
was
up.
the Housewives of the Food Network. Thank you.
I can totally see you on that show. I remember you telling me your husband like, you can do anything, just don't do the Housewives.
Yeah,
And
he's like, we're gonna end up divorced if you do that. And I was like,
That's
no,
hilarious.
we're gonna be fine. Candace, the one that's Potomac Housewives, she lives literally like a block over from me.
Yeah, sure.
So
I
I'm
know
like,
Kansas.
I'm that. Yeah, thank you. I really want to believe that you watch it. I feel like everybody watches and they don't.
I do watch a lot of bad TV, but it's so good. Like
You don't
90
watch
Day
that?
Fiance.
You do?
Oh,
then
yeah.
Wait till you see my Halloween costume then.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah. Because
Married at First Sight. Oh, I'm into all that stuff.
Oh man, we need to talk. We need to talk about some 90 Day Fiance.
Let's do it. I definitely need a
okay.
good gossip chat about that. But guys,
Oh,
thank you
I
guys
got
for
all
tuning
day.
in so much. Another episode of Burnt.
Yes.
Thank you, Leslie, for coming on.
Thank you for
You're the first
having
person I
me.
had on from our season, so
I love it. Thank
that's
you.
fun. And I
It was a
couldn't have
blast.
anybody else. I knew you were going to be a fun guest. So.
Oh, I can talk for I don't know, another 4 hours. So, you know.
I know. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Burnt. Do me a favor, leave a
Awesome.
review on Apple Music, and you can listen to this wherever your podcast needs
Yes.
are met. All right.
I
Thank you,
love it.
guys. We'll see you next week.